Hey there, Brandon here from ThirstGym.com. Today we're doing an exercise called band-resisted plate hops. For this exercise, what you're going to need are 2 light resistance bands. I really like mini bands from Elite FTS. Micro mini bands work well. Also, you just don't want the band tension to be too hard. And then you're going to want a 45-pound plate or a DC block or something that's about 1 to 2 inches thick that you can use for your plate hops. The exercise is called a plate hop variation, so usually, especially in most facilities, you'll just use the standard 45-pound plate, and that works great. I'm using a DC block here for my demonstration purposes since I have access to one of those. I do like them a little bit better than a traditional 45-pound plate because their square is a little more surface area. What we're going to do is we're going to take the bands, tie them to the rack or rig that we happen to be in. You can also use band pegs as well if you happen to have access to those. So I've got my bands choked to themselves to the bottom of my rack here, and then I'm going to bring them over my shoulder. So the band in my right side is then going to come over my left shoulder, and then I'm just going to grab the other band and do the same thing. And I've got this nice big X on my chest where the bands are pulling me into the ground. Now what we're going to do is we're going to perform hops as explosively and as quickly as possible, back and forth on the DC block or in the plate, in your case of using a plate, and we're just going to go for time. So just here, trying to stay as quick and explosive as I can, just on the toes, and trying to be as quick as I can. Think of quote-unquote fast feet. Now, this variation here, as I get out, works great for preparing the ankle complex and the tennis adaptations. Now, I've got a video on the low box pogo variation of this, which is a more intensive based exercise because you're going to have to actually get further up into the air, produce a little bit more force, and actually leave the ground, where here you are leaving the ground but very little, and the goal is going to be speed of the repetitions, moving back and forth as quickly as possible. So in the exercise like this, you're going to get much more repetitions than you would with like a pogo variation of this. Both are great, but this one I like even better for athletes that are trying to work on quote-unquote quicker feet, getting them those tendon adaptations and getting them more springy and preparing their feet, ankle, and calf complexes for sport as it comes up in the coming weeks or potential months. It also works great for athletes that are coming back from some kind of injury and we're trying to repair their tendons and their feet and their ankle complexes to return back to sport, because chances are if they had some kind of lower leg injury or whatever, they're probably going to stop running, jumping, sprinting, and doing athletic-based things. And we know they can detrain pretty quickly, especially if it happens to be months on end that they've not done really hard activity, and we don't want to put them at injury risk, so we find a very low-level exercise like this that works great for doing that. Now, I like doing these for anywhere from 3 to 5 sets of 10 to 20 seconds of each set. Again, going as fast as you possibly can, under control, staying on the balls of your feet, and being springy. The bands are going to help incentivize you to continue to move quicker because the band is constantly pulling you down. What you don't want to have happen is you actually getting solid footing on the box. The goal is to move as quickly as you possibly can on the balls of your feet. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks. Have a great day.